children, welcome to NEET World. This is Narayani, I am your foundation biology educator. In previous class, we are discussing about the heterotrophic nutrition from the chapter of 7th standard CBSE nutrition in plants. Right? So, some of the other topics left from that chapter we will discuss today. So, before I am going to start the session, I would like to announce very important news for you. So, we are already the foundation batches are going on. So, for the 6 to 10 people, it is the best opportunity to join in our NEET World Institute because to get your foundation stronger, boost up your foundation course because the basics are very important to the competitive examinations like NEET and JEE. So, if your foundation is stronger, you can answer any type of a question in the upcoming competitive examinations. Not only in your 11th and 12th standard NEET and JEE examinations, apart from that you have in many scholarship test, Olympiad test and also many competitive examinations. It will be quite useful for you, and also the concept will learn through the digital panel. So, we are creating amazing videos to get the concept to you understand for you. So, what you are waiting for? Join with our NEET World. So, it is both offline also and online also. As your preference, you can join with us. So, if you want to join through offline, come to our institute name called NEET World, present in Narayani, Hyderabad. And if you want to join through online, contact with this number, then we will give you access in our app name called MedWorld there. So, thereby you can access our classes. So, and also join in our Telegram group by scanning the QR code. So, what are the benefits you get by joining this in our Telegram group? So, you will get the daily access, daily quiz of biology, chemistry, physics and mathematics. These are the 4 subjects we are mainly dealing with. So, the live classes, we are dropping our live classes priorly to in the Telegram group. Thereby, you can join on time to us, to attend our classes on time. And what are the free resources we are dropping there? So, you can make the notes, right? And also mainly one-on-one doubt solving sessions with the faculty we are providing. So, if you have any particular doubt with any specific lecturer, you can drop there. So, thereby you can clear out all your doubts. So, if you have any other queries, please let me know by this number, then we will contact with you and we will help you out all your queries to know there regarding that. We will provide all information about that. So, let us start the session of today. So, we are discussed about the heterotrophic nutrition. So, what is meant by heterotrophic nutrition? Which means they cannot, for their food purpose they are depending on the other organisms like animals, right? Like animals, non-green plants, most bacteria, fungi, they cannot prepare their own food. They depend directly or indirectly on the other green plants for their nutrition. Nothing but heterotrophic nutrition. Is plants also exhibit this heterotrophic nutrition? Of course, yes. What are those plants? Their heterotrophic nutrition exhibiting plants are of 2 types. They are parasitic plants and insectivorous plants. So, the best examples of the parasitic plants are, which means completely they are depending on the other plants for their nutrients and shelter also. What are those plants? Cuscuta, Rafflesia, these are the good examples of totally depending on the other plants for their food. So, these are total parasitic plants. Coming to the partial parasitic plants, which means they are not totally depending on the plants, but they are depending. So, which means that is why the word partial parasitic plants. The best example is mistletoe, right? So, coming to the insectivorous plants, is these plants having they can prepare their own food because they are having the leaves also. But for what purpose they are depending on the other organisms like insects? Why they are feeding insects? For the nitrogen purpose. So, we discussed in the previous class, they mostly found in the nitrogen deficient soils. The good examples of the insectivorous plants are picture plant, Venus plant, Venus flytrap, sanddew, bladderwort. These are the examples of insectivorous plants, right? So, we elaborately discussed in the previous class. Let's see the today's class. So, other modes of nutrition in plants. So, what are the other modes that are exhibiting the plants? So, what are those types? So, let's see. The first one, saprophytic nutrition. What is saprotrophic nutrition? So, those organisms which exhibiting them we call it as saprotrophs. So, what is saprotrophic nutrition? Firstly, let's see that what is saprotrophic nutrition. Organisms which feed on dead and decaying matter. They are not feeding on living organisms. They are feeding on the dead and decaying matter. So which, the organisms which deriving nutrients from the dead and decaying matter, those organisms are called saprotrophs. What are saprotrophs? Which organisms exhibiting this saprotrophic nutrition are fungi and bacteria. Fungi and bacteria. They secrete digestive enzymes. They secrete digestive enzymes on the dead plants and animals, and they make it as a solution form, soluble form, and by that they are absorbing the nutrients, right? So this is how the saprotrophic nutrition is done. So exhibiting by this microorganisms like fungi and bacteria. They secrete the digestive enzymes on the dead and decaying matter, thereby it converts into solution form, soluble form, and thereby it absorbing those nutrients, right? So coming to the first one, saprotrophic organisms. See here, they feed on dead and decaying matter, which means or dead of organic matter. They mostly found in warm and humid conditions. The most attend to, the microorganisms grow in moist conditions. They mostly grow in warm and humid conditions. Bread mold is a good example of the fungi. So let's see the first fungi. So fungi is the saprotrophic organism. They feed on dead organic matter. They thrive in the mostly in the warm and humid conditions, which is nothing but the moist conditions. The bread mold is a good example. You can see in your houses also. If you leave a bread like that in the whole night, you can in the morning you can see they grow with a whitish color. That is nothing but the fungi, bread mold. So white thread like growth on the moist bread, fruits, leather is nothing but the bread mold called fungi. Mushrooms, they are umbrella shaped fungi. Some are edible, some are poisonous. Some are edibles, having the very, most essential vitamins are present. So most essential vitamins are present. By consuming them, we'll get it, right? They are edible. You can eat it. But some are poisonous too. Some are poisonous too. We should not allow to eat those mushrooms, right? Coming to the next, 1 minute. Okay. So how they are expanding its species, right? Through the spores. By spores, they are floating in the air. When they are contact with the, attend to suitable environment condition, they again reproducing itself. Spores germinate moist organic matter, forming like thread-like structures. So some benefits and harmful effects of fungi you can learn here. So the most you know about in the next class, 8th standard, you will get to know better about the fungi and also bacteria. So what are the beneficial effects of fungi? So edible fungi, which means mushrooms, they have rich in vitamins. Edible fungi, we can eat it. So yeast, which is used in baking bread and alcohol production. The soft sponginess coming from for the cakes, breads is by the yeast, right? The medicinal fungi. Here the antibiotic name called penicillium produces by this fungi only. Okay, coming to the harmful effects. There will be this is the boon. Coming to the, harmful effects of the fungi. Spoil food. It spoils food, right? If you keep the food in the outside without, in the refrigerator in the morning, you will see a whitish thread-like structures, nothing but those fungi, right? So they spoil the food, leather, fabrics also. They cause plant diseases and also diseases in humans and also animals. So they cause plant diseases mainly for the wheat, rice, sugarcane, etc. Right? This is about the fungi. These are the fungi is the example of the saprotrophic nutrition. Right? If you want to do the experiment, you can done with the in your home also. This is the activity corner you can observe in your home. Take a slice of moist bread and leave it in a warm place 2 to 3 days. Right, then what will happen? You will see a white or green or brown thread-like growth called nothing but bread mold. Like it appears like this. This exhibiting the saprotrophic nutrition. That is, a fungi is a saprotrophic fungus. Right. Coming to the next one, bacteria. Bacteria is also example of the saprotrophic nutrition, right? So see, the which bacteria is mainly acting upon this, saprotrophic nutrition is Pseudomonas. What is that? Pseudomonas. Bacteria are unicellular organisms, which means they are single cell living organisms. They are single cell living organisms. 1 minute. Okay. They are single cell living organisms. Uni means single. Okay. They are single cell living organisms. Many bacteria like Pseudomonas show saprotrophic mode of nutrition, which means they mainly act on dead and decaying, dead organic matter. So they feed on dead and decaying matter like animals' excreta, vegetables, fruits, etc. Saprophytic bacteria release, these also exhibit, they release digestive enzymes. They break down the organic matter into solution form. Then it is absorbed by this bacteria. This is how they are depending for their nutrition. These are also called as fungi and bacteria also called as decomposers. Right? They are cleaning the environment. They may mostly use in the sewage treatment also. Because the genetically modified bacteria used in sewage treatment also to clean the environment. Right? So let's see this, the beneficial effects of bacteria. So what are the beneficial effects of bacteria? Help in breaking down of organic waste in the sewage disposal, right? In wastewater treatment, and convert animal dung and organic waste into manure. This manure is mostly used in the crops for the fertility purpose. To make the fertile soil, the organic matter is added to the, this manure is added to the crops. Thereby the soil become fertile, right? So coming to the harmful effects of bacteria. They cause the food poison also. And they damage household articles, fabrics, etc. They cause disease in both plants and animals. In the upcoming class of 8th standard, you can know about very clearly about the bacteria and fungi. You can know about what are the harmful effects caused by these bacteria and fungi, mainly in animals and also plants. As of now, there is no requirement to understand those at all, because you have to know what is fungi, right, and what is bacteria. This is enough as of now. So coming to the symbiosis. What is meant by symbiosis? Symbiosis means mutual benefit. Symbiosis means mutual benefit. Two organisms are involved in this symbiosis, and both organisms are mutually get benefit. Both organisms are mutually get benefit. Okay, mutually get benefit. So see, it is a special mode of nutrition. It is a special mode of nutrition where two organisms are involved in it. Two organisms are together and share shelter, nutrients and benefit each other. They share shelter and nutrients and benefit each other. Both organisms involved, both are benefiting each other. So this relationship is called symbiosis. That relationship what we call, children, that is symbiosis. These organisms are called symbionts. Those exhibiting those organisms are symbionts. What are the good examples of this symbiosis? Is the lichens are one of the good examples of the symbiotic relationship, because the symbiotic relationship between algae and fungus. Here the two organisms are involving. One is alga and fungus. Alga appear in the green color, right? The patches which we are seen in the pond, some lakes are nothing but they are algae. So they are green in color, which are having the chlorophyll pigment in it, which means they are exhibiting the photosynthesis. That is why they can prepare their own food, which means algae is a heterotrophic, which performs the photosynthesis. Then what is the another organisms present is fungi. What is the work of it, right? So it is a saprotroph, right? Absorbs water and minerals for the alga. So it provides shelter and also minerals for the algae. And they get mutual benefit, because algae gives food. Whatever the food prepared by the algae, it gives to the fungi. So here it is giving the food to the fungi, right? And the fungi giving the shelter, and also whatever the minerals absorbed by the fungi, it is given to the algae also, which means both are benefiting now. That is why it is called symbiosis. Okay, got it? So this is one of the good examples of the symbiosis. The symbiosis is nothing but the both organisms get benefit, and that process called symbiosis, and the organisms which are involved in it, this symbiosis process called symbionts. Okay, the one of the good example is alga. One of the good example is lichen. Okay, let's see the another example of the symbiosis. So 1 minute. Okay, see here. And so one of the many important you have to remember, lichens will not grow in polluted areas. Lichens will not grow in polluted areas, which means they are pollution indicators. They decrease in number by indicating they are having the air pollution, they are having the increasing of the air pollution. That is why in those regions lichens will not visible. That is why they are pollution indicators. Mainly the sulfur dioxide. Wherever the sulfur dioxide is present more in the air, it will not grow. Lichens will not grow. That is why lichens are the pollution indicators. Right? They decrease in their number by increasing the air pollution. Coming to the another good example of the symbiosis is mycorrhiza. So, a symbiosis between fungi and tree roots. This is it is a true involving of the fungi is a saprotroph and it is a true roots tree. So, these are the living making the symbiosis process. So, coming to the another good example is leguminous plants. What are the leguminous plants? Leguminous plants are pea plant, groundnut plant. These are the good examples of leguminous plants, because the roots having the ball like structures called nodules in that presence of bacterium. So, these plants are the plant is one organism and the bacteria is another organisms, but both are exhibiting the symbiosis. They are mutually get benefiting. What are the nitrogen present in the atmosphere? 78% of nitrogen is present in the atmosphere, but we don't have that mechanism to get the nitrogen directly to us. That is why plants also doesn't have that mechanism to take nitrogen directly. So, whatever the bacteria present in these root nodules will absorb it, right, and make it usable form, and it will it gives the nitrogen to the plants, and it is giving shelter and nutrients to the bacteria. Thereby both are get benefiting, right? Okay. So, this is the good example of the leguminous plants are the good examples of the for the symbiotic association. So, they found roots in beans. See, they found in roots in beans, peas, grams, moong, etc. Rhizobium converts atmospheric nitrogen into soluble form. Atmospheric nitrogen into soluble form. Plant gives food and rhizome gives nitrogen. Got it? So, this is how the symbiotic relationship works. Both organisms get benefit. In this, both organisms get involved and both will get benefit. Okay. Coming to the next one. So, we are almost get end of the topic, end of this nutrition in plants. So, this is the last topic from the nutrition in plants. After that, we will solve some multiple choice questions and also assessment and reasoning questions and case based questions. Replenishment of nutrients. What is meant by replenishment? What is meant by word replenishment? Replenishment means regain of nutrients. Replenishment means regain of nutrients. Regain of nutrients. Regain of nutrients. From where it is regaining? Which means in the soil. Right? Madam, why the soil having to regain the nutrients? Right? So, if it is a piece of land. So, this piece of land has very amount of rich in nutrients. Plants also require nutrients for their growth purpose. What are the required nutrients? It is mainly want by the plants is NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. If these nutrients have rich in the soil, then plants will grow effectively and the yield become more to us. Sufficient yield will come from that crop. So, let's see this. Plants require nutrients for their growth, right? So, they absorb nutrients from there it will absorb. The plants will not eat, right? So, that is why they absorb from the soil now. So, continuous growing of crops in a field. So, in the piece of land I am growing first rice crop. So, after that I get good yield. So, again I make the rice crop. So, whatever the nutrients present in that, it will be absorbed by this, the rice crop na. Again that much of amount of nutrients is present in the next crop. No. So, for the next crop there is no that much amount of nutrients will be present in the piece of land. That is why the soil have to regain its nutrients. So, how it will regain, right? See, that is what he said. Continuous growing of crops in a field makes deficient in that piece of land. The same amount of nutrients will not be present. Deficient in the vital nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Okay. So, if you have a box, you are filling chocolates in that box. So, daily you are eating it. It will be get the more amount the chocolates will get reduced na. So again you have to refill that. So you have to keep the box to fill the chocolates. So this is how. So what are the chocolates is there, you are eating it, it is consumed, which means the amount of the number of chocolates will be reduced na. Like that only the piece of land more nutrients are there, it will be used by the plants, then the piece of land become deficient by the nutrients. So again it have to refill, right? So vital nutrients like, so the plants mainly need the nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Okay, these nutrients need to be added to time. If the nutrients are added time to time, then the soil will enrich the nutrients and keep the plants healthy, right? This enrichment of soil can be done by the following ways: by using the traditional methods, by using the artificial methods. So we are using the methods to regain the nutrients to the soil, thereby the plants grow healthy way, right? So farmers should add manure. See, this is the organic method, so it is a natural method. So they are adding manures and fertilizers to the crop field to increase its fertility. So farmers are adding manures, fertilizers to increase its fertility. So when you add organic matter to the soil, which means there is no harm to the soil, to increase its fertility. The fertilizers are rich in specific new plant nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. These are the fertilizers are man-made. So more than the manure, fertilizers give more nutrients to the soil. Of course, as it is giving the more nutrients to the soil, and it leads to the soil pollution also, right? You will see in the further classes. As of now, remember this. So farmers add manures also and fertilizers also, right? Fertilizers are more in amount to get the yield, because they are specific, which means they have the specific nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. So after crop is harvested, the soil become deficient in nitrogen. Mainly the main staple food we are growing the crops like rice and wheat, they need more amount of nitrogen. So they are in that piece of lands mainly the nitrogen deficient will happen. So the farmers may grow leguminous crops. So I said for the symbiotic association, the good example is leguminous plants, right? So they are fixing the nitrogen and giving this nitrogen to the soil also. So what they will do, they follow in before days they are used to follow the traditional methods like after the rice crop they are making the crop of groundnut. So in that bacteria is present in the root nodules of those leguminous plants, fixing the nitrogen to the soil and giving this nitrogen to the soil. So thereby soil rich in nitrogen. Thereby again our next crop is the rice, is whatever the nitrogen is there, then it will absorb na. So this is how the traditional methods are formed. There are other ways of traditional methods also like mixed cropping, they are also there. So they are growing the leguminous crops like peas, beans, etc. to replenish the nitrogen in the soil, right? Because rhizobium bacteria present in the roots of the legume crops, they will convert the nitrogen, soluble nitrogen compounds and gives to the plant. So this is absorbed by the plants. This is how one of the traditional method is followed by the in previous days by the farmers. But nowadays mostly they are using the fertilizers. So by the fertilizers they are nutrient specific. So instantly they are increasing the regain the nutrients to the soil, but it is giving the more effects to the soil also. In this way, symbiotic association, as we are dealing with the concept of the nutrition, this is how symbiotic association is a great significance to the farmers. So as the traditional methods, what we are doing, so by along with the crops, along with the by the mixed farming method, or which means the two crops are making at a time, is the row of one row of the plants of rice, and another way of the row of the plants of legume plants. Likewise also we can replenish the nutrient nitrogen in the soil. This can be happen by the possible of this symbiotic association by the legume crops, right, legume plants. So this not need to add nitrogen fertilizer to the soil by the leguminous plants grown. If the leguminous plants are growing along with the staple food like rice and wheat, there is no need to point to add the fertilizer of nitrogen there. But but as of nowadays they are not using the mainly they are not focusing on the traditional methods, they are morely focusing on the adding of the fertilizers directly to the crops, thereby they get instant results, right. But this is the symbiotic association. Mainly in previous days they are used to, if the one crop made the staple food, then next crop will be the groundnut or pea crop, then after that again the they will make the rice crop, right. So what will happen, first the rice crop will absorb the nitrogen, which means in the piece of land what will not be there, nitrogen is not there, right. Then again what will happen, again the nutrients absorbed by the piece of land by the I am making the crop of pea plant. So leguminous plants, what will it fix the nitrogen now? So how much amount it would require, it fixes in the plant body, plant parts, and again it is giving back to the soil. Then again the soil become rich in nitrogen. Then again I will back to give the crop of rice. This is how in previous days the farmers used to do this, the process to get the good yield. So this is how the symbiotic association works in the plants. Okay. Fastly recap the the modes of other modes of nutrition. As I said, in the other modes of nutrition, so what is the nutrition? The first one is saprotrophic nutrition. What are the examples of saprotrophic nutrition? Fungi and bacteria. They are also called as decomposers, right. They are mostly used in the sewage treatment also, right. So they are deriving nutrients from the dead and organic matter, dead and decaying matter. By by secreting the digestive enzymes, it makes the soluble form, and then it absorbing those nutrients to the they are observing that fungi and bacteria observing likewise the nutrients observing by the fungi and bacteria, right. So next one is symbiotic association. In the symbiotic association, what is the good example? Lichens are the good examples. In the symbiotic association, two organisms get benefit. They will get, both organisms can benefit. That relationship is called symbiosis. The organisms which exhibiting that symbiotic process is symbionts, right. So in the lichens, the involvement of algae and fungi. Algae performs photosynthesis and fungi absorbs water and minerals, right. So mutual benefit. Algae provides food, right. Fungi gives shelter and also minerals, right. And coming to the symbiotic association, another good example is mycorrhiza. So in the true roots, fungi is present, and they will get benefit by fungi is providing the minerals to the tree, and roots are providing shelter and food. Coming to the leguminous plants, the best example is the pea plant, which means leguminous plants are nothing but pea plants, groundnut, there are the leguminous plants. In that plants root nodules, they will be having the presence of Rhizobium bacteria. It can able to produce the it can fix the nitrogen from the atmosphere. We plants don't have that mechanism, but the bacteria have that mechanism to fix the nitrogen. Whatever the amount of nitrogen is required to the plant, it will fix it. Again that will by the roots it will rich the soil by nitrogen. So the staple foods like wheat and rice need more nitrogen. So this is how the replenishment will be happening in the crops, right. In the before days, the mostly the farmers used to do this replenishment traditional methods, right. First they will grow the staple food like rice, then again they will grow the legume plants, then again they will grow the staple food, because after the leguminous crop the soil will rich in nitrogen, right. The most amount of required nutrients for the plants is nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, right. This is how the replenishment of nutrients and other modes of nutrition and their beneficial harmful and beneficial for the other organisms to us. And so this is how the staple food is replenishing. So fertilizer also used. Fertilizers are specific, which means they are man-made, mainly the nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. They add to get the very good yield. This is about the nutrition in plants of the 7th CBSE children. So you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section. Then we'll start in the next session of the questionnaire sessions. Okay, we'll solve case based questions as like the previous only, assessment reasoning questions. Likewise we will follow according to it, right. This is about the today's session. Let's meet in the tomorrow session. Before I am winding up the class, I would like to say once again, I am reminding you children. So the foundation batch is already going on. So foundation is necessary for you, the basics to be understood for you, because in the recent NEET, NEET paper also, the direct question appeared from the foundation. That's the power of solid foundation. If you have the foundation stronger, then you will crack any type of a question, because here the basics are very requirement for the 6th to 10th people. So if you have really interested to power up your foundation, please join with us. Then you'll get a best foundation classes, and it is both offline also and online also. For offline people, you can happily come to our institute name called NEET World, present in Narayani, Hyderabad. If you want to join through online, down scrolling number is there, no contact with that number. Otherwise, you can comment in the comment section. We'll provide you all the information about us. So this is what about the today's session. Let's meet in the tomorrow session. Thank you.